Hello, and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast. I'm Catherine Haleko, and I'm here with Terri Morrow. Say hi, Terri. I was waiting for you to say hi before I told you to say hi.
Hello.
Terry's here. Usually on this podcast, we talk about parenting issues, but once a week, Terri and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change.
Yes.
So this week, we are going to discuss the 4th episode of The West Wing, Season 4. It's called The Red Mass, and also the movie All of Me for our challenge round.
Mm-hmm.
But first, it was trio night and old home night on Dancing with the Stars, where they brought back a bunch of alums to dance in trios with the remaining stars from this season.
Varying effect.
Yeah, I mean, it reminded me why I don't really like trio night, because when it's a sexy dance, it is so creepy.
Oh, I thought of that with that rumba with Terrell and Cheryl and Kelly. I thought this is like the pure distillation of everything Catherine hates about trio night.
Yes.
It's like literally just two girls
fawning over a guy. Yeah.
Who was just mostly just standing there and looking hunky, you know. Right. He wasn't. I didn't see a lot of dancing from him. Just sort of twirl this one, twirl that one, show off my abs. Right. So, which are impressive, sure, but still,
right? Yes,
seems like there should be more to it.
When they do it more like a group dance, like Victoria and Val and Laurie, then I can handle it.
That one had all sorts of other problems.
It did have problems. I agree, but that was
the only other two girl one. Yeah, that definitely wasn't two girls fawning over a guy. That was two people dancing and then a third just sort of standing off to the side.
Or just trying not to fall over because she was in so much pain.
Yeah, I like Victoria. I usually root for the contestant with a disability. I'm really concerned as to whether this is good and safe for her to be doing. Mm-hmm. It's not that important, sweetie. If you think you might lose control of your legs again, maybe just bow out. Nobody would think less of you. It's not worth endangering anything. Mm-hmm. And she just looks so, like she's just trying to do it, but she's really not able to do very much. Yeah. And it's not fun for anybody. I'm sure not for her. So,
although she did look like she had fun getting to hang out with Laurie.
Yes. In the packages, she's delightful. Mm-hmm. And then on the stage, she's so tentative, and it just makes me concerned that this is really possibly not something she should be doing. Right. What do I know? I'm sure she's doing this in conjunction with medical advice and all of that. So, but she's certainly not as sparkling on the dance floor as she is in the packages. Right. Where she's very cute. And Laurie, of course, is just a little force of nature. She's adorable.
Oh, so much fun. So
yes.
It was fun to see Laurie. And, of course, the Jordan and Lindsay and Corbin,
that was amazing.
Disney kid production number was crazy good.
That could have been a pro number. Yeah, that was really. But what I liked about it, I was just watching them over again, and that was the only one of the trios, I think, where the pro was completely superfluous. Mm-hmm. They used Lindsay well in their guy dance. They threw her, they did stuff like that. They used her as an engaging and beautiful prop. But everybody else, I mean, I watched Mark's and Lindsay's and Christie's also, which was very good and very enjoyable to watch. But they were like his backup dancers. My eye just kept going to him again and again. They were dressed exactly alike. Yeah. And he's a very good dancer and, fun to watch. And then he had these two blue things dancing around him. Mm-hmm. And Whitney sort of had the job of tying together what Alfonso and what Frankie were doing and drawing the eye away when one of them was not, when, maybe Frankie wasn't doing as great or whatever. She was like, somebody I read said she was like the glue in that dance. And that worked very well also. But of all the dances, Lindsay and Jordan and Corbin, it was about, in that case, it was about the stars and not about the pro. I think that was pretty much the only one. Mm-hmm. So, although, I mean, I guess Terrell's was about him, but not in an appealing way.
No. Not at all.
Ew.
Yes. And I thought in the trio of Drew, Emma, and Rashad, poor Drew just did not come out looking very good because Rashad was so much better than he was.
Yeah, and I mean, Drew owned that. It's like he knows going in, there's no way he's going to be able to be as naturally good at it as Rashad is. It made me miss Rashad. It's like, I remember that guy. He was fun.
He was good.
And he was not a dancer going in, and yet he still seems to have retained the ability to dance well. So good for him. I guess he was on the tour a little bit, right?
He was on the tour.
Yeah. Yeah. So, poor Drew. I feel like he wants it and he's got a good attitude, but the scoring on their first dance was just brutal. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that bad, and it just was. It was like dump on Drew night,
Yeah.
It's like, come on, this far into the competition, give the guy a bone, will ya? It was just, and the scores were like 7s, and all right. He's not great, but he's not bad. I think he's getting better. Or, I don't know. It just seemed kind of mean.
It did. I agree.
And arbitrary. The scoring, I don't know. But in Jordan and Lindsay's dance, the first one they did, was very good, I'm pretty sure, as much as I could see with all those. That's the second dance they've done with like so much going on in the floor, and it's like the psychedelic lights of hiding footwork, except Jordan doesn't need his footwork hidden. Can you just turn it off and just dance? Which they did for the trio dance fabulously.
Yes.
So I don't know. I guess they just want that higher degree of
well, I did think
showmanship.
Her outfit was very cool with the red lining.
Yeah.
And, the whole visual effect was fun. But as you said, it was also obscuring the
it
actual
made it hard to
dance.
focus on the dance because there was just so much spectacle. Yes. It's like when you have the entire troupe on the floor and you can't find your dancers, except this was just them, but a troupe of lights and tricks and, so they're very good. I would be just fine seeing Jordan win. I think he's clearly the best. And with whatever experience he had coming in, he still wasn't a professional ballroom dancer. So I'm not disturbed by that. Some people are. Lindsay is also very good. For some reason, she just doesn't appeal to me as much. I don't know. But she, she's fine. If Jordan's not going to win, though, I would like it to be Frank. Either the guy who's clearly the best, or the scrappy guy who's
just working so
and
hard,
just gets there by sheer enjoyment, should win. But I would be happy for them to be 1-2 in whichever order. Mm-hmm. But probably Jordan first.
That would
I'm
be
splitting
fun.
my votes between them, so probably they'll both be shockingly eliminated. But
Terrell was not shockingly eliminated last night.
I was not shocked at all. Just reading some boards and chats, a lot of people were upset that he went home before Drew and Victoria. I thought those two should have gone first. But I like Drew staying around. I still like him. And Victoria, I don't know what to think about her. But I was not sad to see Terrell go. Although I liked his Charleston very much. I thought that was very cute. I thought he did a great job with that.
I did too.
Yeah, that was a fun dance.
He's good at those fast ones.
And I don't know what really you can do with a rumba trio because it's just sort of inherently icky.
Yeah.
So that's like, who made that choice? They sort of doomed him. But of course he didn't go home based on that. He went home last week,
Based on what he did before, yeah.
Yeah. So in that case, the big thing about, all the best dancers are on one team and all the worst dancers are on another team, and the scrappy underdogs win. Terrell and Nikki were on the first team, and they are not that strong. And so the effect of having the, quote, best team, unquote, go down really took Terrell down. Not Jordan and Lindsay, but Terrell. So that,
right.
I still question that whole alignment of people.
Yeah, it was definitely questionable.
And not only the scoring of them, but scoring the first team so low. I mean, they could have given them 9s, but 8 seemed like we want to tie an anchor around somebody. Right. And it wound up being Terrell.
So
yeah,
next week is the semifinals. So does that mean everybody's going to do 2 things?
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
How many? So there's 5 left now?
Right. Should be 5. Jordan, Lindsay,
okay,
Victoria,
but there's only
Frankie,
2.
Drew.
Well, there's like 3 episodes left. So how do they do it? They eliminate one next week. There's still 4. There's 4 going into the finals. I think there used to be just 3, but that may have been ages ago.
Well,
it still
sometimes
seems like they've got too many people.
Like they could get there on that Monday of the finals with 4, and then really early on that show eliminate one. Don't they do that sometimes?
Maybe that's what they do.
Who
Yeah.
knows?
Well, with this group, I'm happy for as many to go as far as they can, I guess. Right. But it was an interesting experiment, bringing back old pros for the trio. I don't know if it was a successful one, because sometimes the old people showed up the new ones.
Right.
In an uncomfortable way. But the trios are kind of iffy anyway. So
yeah.
I would not mind if they got rid of that.
No, me either. So, all right. Well, let us move on.
Yes.
As we said, have 2 weeks remaining to discuss Dancing with the Stars. So semifinals next time. But now we're going to move on to the West Wing.
Yes.
We have way more than 2 weeks remaining on the West Wing.
We have years remaining in the West Wing.
Not quite halfway through the run. We're on season 4, episode 4, called The Red Mass.
Yeah.
And I would like to point out a continuity problem that this is so small and dumb, but they were talking about how the Supreme Court starts on the first Monday or whatever it is. So they have the Red Mass on Sunday.
Yeah.
Where they have the church service and all these people are there and the president speaks. But they showed the president watching football and preparing for his speech. Yeah. And it said Sunday night. Ah. And it had to have been Saturday night.
Interesting.
So that bugged me. But, that's the kind of thing that that Josh and Rishi would normally pounce upon on the West Wing Weekly. They did not. So I feel the need to bring that up.
Just in a moment I was looking away from the screen. I did not notice that, although I don't know if I would have picked that up. But
I mean, he could have been watching college football, but I'm just saying he would not be preparing for the speech that he was giving on Sunday morning on Sunday night.
One thinks not.
So, anyway.
Yes,
this was... What should we say about this one?
It was okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
I'm trying to remember things about it, which is probably probably not good.
Well, you had Leo and his interactions with the Israeli...
I remembered early on where that was going. It just felt like fast-forwarding through all that cute stuff.
So you had that. You had the standoff with the people in Iowa who they thought were responsible for the swimming pool bombing, and they had their big victory of being able to storm the place because there was a sick child inside.
Right. I liked all that stuff of them being happy about it, and the president keep letting Casper have the moment to explain things. But when they got to and we found the blueprints of the pool, yay, high five! And I'm like, you mean where all those people died? Let's celebrate that. I mean, you can celebrate that you found it, but that seemed weird. That seemed uncomfortable. It seemed like maybe you just say, thank God we can nail them for this horrible, horrible thing. Not
like high fives all around. Yeah.
That was uncomfortable to me.
I agree. I mean, yes, obviously they're glad that they didn't get the wrong
yes, and I understand from a law enforcement point of view.
Domestic terrorist cell.
Yes, yes. You want to celebrate having, nailed the right people and found the right people, but still, there's a way to, say a little prayer for the people who died or were hideously injured.
Right.
I don't know. But, and then
the whole Stackhouse thing, which was really, I liked that whole storyline actually, and the part where Amy points out, where Josh says he's stealing the president's votes.
Yeah.
And Amy says they're not his votes, which is like, that is the point here, even though obviously I'm on Bartlet's side here, but I thought that was quite a relevant point.
Yeah. Except that, as Amy later admits, you still have to vote for the president because he's the one who has a chance. And if you vote for the...
well, totally. I mean, yes.
It's tricky. It's the thing.
For sure. I mean, we're not going to get into the real life analogs of this.
Yes.
Where, I'm fully down with.
Everybody just fill in the blanks.
Right. Yeah. It's a problem. But I think that I still think it's a good point, Right. Like, let's remember that the reason, he's got to give... Bartlet still has to give people a reason to vote for him.
Exactly. Yes.
Not just following the party line. And and then the scene between Bartlet and Stackhouse was just beautiful.
Yes, that was very nice. And I liked that they brought Stackhouse back after the Stackhouse filibuster. Mm-hmm. Once again, Bartlet is standing up for, on his behalf afterwards there at the end, as he sort of championed him with that the autism thing. Yeah. Yes. But, that was very nice. I liked all of that. I thought that was very good. And all the sides of it were well thought out and expressed. And I did like the awkwardness between Josh and Amy. The sort of like there's still something there, but they're obviously not a couple anymore. And, They play well off each other, I think.
And this is one where Donna had to go to the self-improvement seminar. Yeah. And the best part was when she came back and pretended like she'd been converted, just to freak Josh out.
Yes, that was very good,
Donna.
And I do agree with Josh and Hershey that the whole Josh bringing up all these great authors and all this stuff and instructing Donna on the truth of things was a little tiresome. And by extension, the viewer, I guess.
Lymansplaining.
Yes,
all
exactly.
Of Western philosophy.
Yeah, this is why people don't like you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but, and then I guess there was a little bit with Charlie that was somewhat weird.
Yeah, and Anthony.
With the girl we've never seen before and never will see again. And Anthony, making him, you gotta have a Charlie scene.
Right. And after you chose your challenge round because of Lily Tomlin, she was nowhere to be seen.
No Lily Tomlin. I thought of that. It's, the movie will provide our Lily Tomlin for this. I'm trying to think of when she's on again. Because I don't know that she's in the next 2 episodes. I can't think of her in the next 2 episodes. There's a scene coming up with her and Josh that's really funny, but I don't think it's in the next 2 episodes. So, obviously she's not a regular. She's like a featured person.
Yeah.
And so she has
like
a certain
an
amount
Abby
of
Bartlet kind of.
Yes, exactly. She has a certain amount of episodes a season, and we just seem to have hit a little string of them where. She's not. Maybe she's. I don't remember. I mean, I remember the next 2 episodes as being fairly delightful, especially the one after next. But I don't remember her being in them, so we'll see. But I thought of that. It's like, here, let's celebrate that she's in the show. Eventually, again, she will be back. She will be funny.
Right.
But
should we move on to that movie then?
Yeah, I guess we should. There's nothing else to say about the Red Mass, is there?
I don't think so.
We'll remember it later and then wish we had said something. But it's, again, there's episodes in a season that are memorable and then there are episodes that are there to move us towards that place. Mm-hmm. This is one of those moving towards. Actually, the whole bit about the debate moves us into next week, which is called Debate Camp. And it's preparing for the debate. So that was necessary. All that stuff, all CJ's sort of nudging towards getting something where the expectations will be calibrated appropriately.
Right.
And then also, as they mentioned on the West Wing Weekly podcast, without any spoilers, remember that name Horton Wilde, the Orange County guy who had his fourth heart attack.
4 heart attacks. Mm-hmm.
That name will be coming up again in a bit.
Right.
So that was a positioning not only just for Sam going on to something bigger and better, but it's positioning for the arrival of an actor we know. So anyway, all right. So yes.
So yeah, next week, as you said, it's called Debate Camp.
Yes.
So we will get to that.
Funny episode.
But our challenge round, as we've alluded to, is was Terri chose. So why don't you set that up?
Yeah, well, with the arrival of Lily Tomlin on the West Wing, it reminded me of a Lily Tomlin movie that I loved, which is called All of Me. It's really, she does all her acting in a mirror, pretty much. Yeah. So it's really mostly a Steve Martin movie. But what was the date on it? Do you have that written down? I can't remember. I know we looked it up. 84. So it's been quite a long time since I saw it. I remember really loving it. I was thinking, you know what, maybe it's just going to be kind of dated and awful, and I will regret having brought it up. But I watched it again, and I really liked it again. It's just, it's really fun and not particularly dated. And, Steve Martin gives this great performance as the premise of the movie is that Lily Tomlin is a rich woman who has been sick her entire life. She's finally going to die. She has this swami who's going to transport her spirit into a bowl, and from there into the young and beautiful daughter of her stable master, and then she will live out her life as this young, beautiful person with all her money. And through a series of mishaps, her spirit accidentally goes into the body of her lawyer, played by Steve Martin, and she occupies half his body, and he occupies half his body. So they have to figure out how to control the body first, and then, quarreling with each other over one thing and another. And it's all Steve Martin doing two parts, and moving part of his body, and then having to figure out how to move the other part of his body. It's really kind of a tour de force, and really, he's great at it. And you forget that this is one actor doing all of this. I believed he was the character trying to figure this stuff out. And she does all her acting in the mirror, but when he looks in the mirror, he sees her. So even with that, she's very funny. And eventually they have to try to get her back into the bowl and then back into the cute young blonde, who of course is not the spiritual seeker that she seemed, but really somebody who thought, fine, if you want to give me all your money, I'll take it. So she is of course reluctant to check out and have Edwina, Lily Tomlin's character, move in. I was really surprised. Have movies gotten longer? I was surprised it's just like an hour and a half. It seemed to go by pretty quick. I was like, it's like a third of it is just setup. And then the rest of it goes by very, because I kept thinking, how much more of this do I have? And it was like almost over. We're over to that. We're at that part already. Yeah. So, I thought it moved very quickly. It was very amusing and well done by everybody, and nice, fun characters. I really liked his musician friend, who was very amusing. Yes. And great dog work. Yes. And Selma Diamond is his secretary. I don't know if you ever watched Night Court.
Yes.
Yes. I remember her from there. That voice.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I had a lot of fun watching it again. What did you think?
I had fun watching it too. It's very silly. Yes. The whole Swami who is fascinated. He somehow links the sound of the phone ringing to the toilet flushing. And so whenever the phone rings, he thinks that he has to go flush the toilet in time with the ringing. It's
played
just
by, I'm trying to think of that actor's name. Libertini is it? I can't think of what his first name is, but he was for a while on lots and lots of things and just does this part very engagingly. Right. I'll have to remember. By the time we're done talking, I will have looked up what his first name is, but Richard, I think.
It's very, I mean,
he
it's
is
just very
it's silly.
Very silly. And as you said, you know, just watching Steve Martin, you know, act as though he's half possessed by someone else. Like, and, you know, when he keeps getting in trouble for talking to himself because he's talking to her and she's talking to him. And like the whole how it works part is so nutty. I mean, because sometimes one of them is sleeping and then the other one is totally in control. And then so it gets very, very goofy, but again, very, very fun. And I like Steve Martin and Lily Tomlin is great too.
Yeah.
And I did, you know, it was kind of clever the way that they could show her by having him look in a mirror. Because otherwise she would have had like no screen time.
Exactly. Yes.
Like it would have been her voice and nothing else. So.
Yeah. I was thinking like she's sort of the co-star in this, except she's only in mirrors and half the time he's being her. So it's his voice and it's like he's playing 1.5 parts.
Right. Yeah.
And extremely well.
Yeah.
Old silly Steve Martin movies. But this one had a little heart to it too.
Oh yeah.
It did. You know, that it was good that all this happened so that he now can be a musician.
Pursue his dream of being a jazz
millionaire.
Millionaire
behind him, I guess. That'll make it a lot easier.
Yes. So.
I only know this because I was looking at IMDb at the character names. His former girlfriend, who was the daughter of the boss.
Yeah.
Peggy Schuyler.
Oh, that was her name? Oh, that's funny. I mean, I did notice that her name was Peggy, but I didn't connect it to Schuyler. Oh, how funny.
You would only know... Exactly. You would only know that if you looked at the cast list. What?
Wait a minute.
There she is.
Very funny. Yes.
Well.
Very enjoyable.
An
Thank
amusing,
you.
Fun way to spend an hour and a half. It's funny. I watched it on... I don't know how... You had a DVD of it?
Yes, I had a DVD from the library.
Was it like square? Like the old square TV-sized thing? Or was it like the widescreen?
I think it was widescreen. I watched it on my laptop, which has kind of the rectangular screen. So
I got it off Amazon Video for $1.99. I rented it. And it was square. It was almost like somebody had just very carefully, with a very steady camera, taped it off their TV. And I'm like... That can't be if I'm buying it from Amazon, can it? I mean, if I was watching it on YouTube, but it was, and when you're watching it, the names at the beginning kind of were bouncing up and down a little bit. And then once it got into the live action, it was fine. I didn't notice it. I stopped noticing, but it had that little bit of...
Oh, funny.
Yeah, so what the heck? I want my $1.99 back. Did you just take this off your TV set?
Speaking of 80s movies, I want my $2.
Oh, well, but, it was fine. I was able to see everything just fine and enjoyed it very much. So,
yes,
that was our challenge for this week. What is our challenge for next week, Catherine?
All right.
What do you have in store for me?
So, another sort of throwback adjacent thing. The Beauty and the Beast live action movie that came out this past spring, starring Emma Watson as the Beauty and Dan Stevens as the Beast, although you really never see him. You would have no idea that it's him. So I thought that since the cast list just came out for the next... I think it's the next Disney live action movie, which is The Lion King. And there's been a lot of talk about it because Beyonce is in it.
Yeah. So it's actually going to be live action?
It is live action.
It's not just a new animated one with these voices?
No.
I was not clear on that. So they're going to wear like the get-ups like they wear on stage?
I don't know how they're going to do it. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Also related, I just saw the Little Mermaid stage production.
Yeah.
And it was... The best thing about it was seeing how they created an undersea environment on stage. Like, they had all of the mer people had like big skirts, and they had sort of fins that were big pieces of fabric that were attached to their hand. You know, you can picture like as they sweep their hands up, then they have this cascading. And so the way they had them moving just really made it look like they were underwater. Yeah. And it was very cool, actually, to see how they did it. All the costuming. They had, you know, the bad guys, the Flotsam and Jetsam, who are like the henchmen of the Sea Witch in The Little Mermaid. Yeah. I think they're supposed to be electric eels. Oh. So they had... First of all, they had like LED lights in their costumes, and they went around on those Heely shoes. You know, like they would roll around the stage with those things on. So it was very creative how they did this, and I wonder if the live action Lion King will it be just pretty much like CGI, which is what they did in Beauty and the Beast, which is what we're going to watch. Yeah. So there's a huge cast of incredible people, you know, Emma Thompson, Audra McDonald, Stanley Tucci, Ian McKellen, like all these really big stars that are playing like the wardrobe and the candlestick and stuff like that. So you get a little bit of their face. But not a lot.
I'll be interested to see how that works.
Yeah. So that's what you're going to see in Beauty and the Beast, which is on Netflix.
Alrighty. Now we should be specific where we're talking about the live action Beauty and the Beast.
We are talking about the 2017 live action
Beauty and the Beast. I never actually saw the animated Beauty and the Beast. Will I be able to enjoy this equally without that, or should I? Yes. Do I need? Okay.
No, good. I think it's
because I ain't going to go watch the old one.
No. I think it's fine.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, if you had, then you might be, you know, just attached to the way they did it there, and
it's a so now I can just come and receive this as a independent entity.
Exactly. Yep.
Just as though I walked in with no knowledge.
Exactly. So that's what we're going to do. It is on Netflix.
Yes, all right. Well, the only way I would ever watch that would be if you challenged me, so.
And that's the point of the challenges.
You haven't steered me wrong. I made you watch John from Cincinnati, so this is owed to me.
I hope it will be just an enjoyable, you know, hour and a half for you.
I imagine it will.
You can just enjoy the music and the, you know, the crazy...
I can sing along. Just through cultural assimilation, I know the songs.
Yeah.
So...
Exactly.
All right. Well.
So next week we'll watch that, plus the semifinal night of Dancing with the Stars and the West Wing's debate camp.
Yep.
And that's going to be it for round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes, including our daily speed rounds and weekly group chats. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Bye, Terri.
Bye-bye, and I need to say before we go, because I promised I would look it up, it is indeed Richard Libertini, who is hilarious.
Okay. Good to know. All right, thanks everybody. See you next time.